Toy Story 5 just set box office records over the past weekend. Let's talk about it here. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Toy Story 5 absolutely demolishing the box office over this past weekend for Father's Day. I actually got the chance to watch Toy Story 5, and I will say it is great, as always. And it seems like everybody else kind of agrees here, because Toy Story 5, on a $250 million budget, has raked in over, this is globally, $310 million so far in only, what, 2-3 days over this past weekend. I believe it is $160 million in the US domestically over this past weekend. I just checked, yes, $159.7 million. This is a great feat, obviously. It is giving me a couple reasons to believe in that the box office and that movie theaters are back officially. 2026 has been an amazing year so far for movies, and it is already starting to pick up in June. We don't even have The Odyssey. We don't even have Spider-Man Brand New Day. We don't even have Dune and Avengers. That's for, you know, later down the line this year. It's a great year for the box office. Now, Toy Story 5, it's pretty much a given, right? That Pixar and Disney, of course, want to make as many Toy Story movies as possible because it makes money like this. $310 million in 2 days. It's about to pass Obsession, and Obsession has been killing it at the box office. I loved Obsession so much. I watched it twice, and you know, Obsession, of course, is a movie that was made for $750,000, and it made, damn it, I think it's closing in on $400 million. You got the Michael Jackson movie is closing in on $1 billion. It's about $950 million. And then now Toy Story 5 is officially at $310 million. It is a great year for box office. But I did want to say, Disney and Pixar, they always do this thing, and I talked about it a little bit in a prior video. Disney and Pixar always do this thing where they take a couple years, right? They take like maybe 5 years to do a lot of original projects. And they were doing that at the start of, you know, the 2019, 2020, when the pandemic was. They were doing a lot of original movies. You had movies like Soul. You had Turning Red. Was that Pixar? I believe that was Pixar. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Pixar. Yeah, Turning Red. And then, you know, there were a bunch of other ones that didn't really make a lot of money. You know, you had Lightyear. You also had, what was the one? Luca, right? And what was the one where he gets like beamed up or something in the sky? Not Onward. Onward was great, but that also didn't make that much money because of the pandemic. Regardless, my point is that they do this thing where for 5 years they make a lot of original movies, but then, okay, we made the original movies. It's time to go back to the well and do the bigger sequels or you know, the big heavy hitters that they know is going to keep them in business, that's going to make them a ton of money so that they can continue to make original movies, just like Luca, just like Soul, just like Turning Red. So yeah, I feel like this is exactly what they're doing here. Next year, I believe they're starting production, or this year they're starting production on a Monsters Inc. 3. They're also doing Coco 2. So they're focusing in on the sequels for the next couple of years, but they also have some original stuff coming out. I mean, we just had the trailer for Gato, and that came out recently and looks pretty exciting, honestly. And we also have Hexed, which is another original film. So it looks like Disney is and Pixar are making their bucks back, and they're continuing that little cycle of, hey, give them the big blockbuster movie so that we can continue to do the original movies, and so on and so forth. Another thing I wanted to talk about is Toy Story itself. Now, Toy Story is one of those movies and one of those franchises where a lot of people said, oh, you don't need to do a Toy Story 3, right? Because it was like 15 years after Toy Story 2. You don't need to do a Toy Story 3. They're going to ruin it. Boom. It comes out, and it's one of the best trilogy ending movies of all time. I think Toy Story 3 is the best one out of all 5 Toy Story movies. And then that made a ton of money. And what was it, like, how much time was it? 9 years? 9 years after they made Toy Story 4, and the cycle continued. Hey, guys, you don't need to do this. Toy Story 3 was already a amazing ending. We don't need to make another Toy Story film just to keep, you know, it's just going to be a cash grab, whatever. Boom. Toy Story 4 comes out. Great ending to Woody and Buzz. Now, a lot of people say that Toy Story 4 isn't as great as the other ones. I do agree. I do agree that Toy Story 4 is not one of the better Toy Story movies, but that's saying nothing because all of them are amazing films. I mean, Toy Story 4, even though it's not really my favorite Toy Story film, it's definitely my least favorite Toy Story film. Maybe Toy Story 5 and Toy Story 4 are a little bit interchangeable. I got to go back and watch Toy Story 4, but I think Toy Story 4 had a solid ending, and it was still amazing, and it grossed a lot of money. So why wouldn't we do a Toy Story 5? Because they have a story. Because they have a story, and that's something that the Pixar CEO always likes to talk about, is that, you know, hey, we're not gonna do a sequel if we don't have a good story, right? And it takes a while. I mean, it takes a while for them to figure out if they have a good story or not. So that's why we get, you know, from 1995, or excuse me, when was it? 1997, 1999. When was Toy Story 2 came out? Anyway, yeah, I think 1999. It came out, and then 11 years later we get Toy Story 3 because they had a good story. And then what was it? 9 years later after that, we get Toy Story 4 because they came up with a good story. They don't rush these things. And then after that, of course, you know, 7 years later, we get Toy Story 5. So they don't rush these things. And it really just depends on if they have a good story or not. If they don't have a good story for Toy Story 6, then I highly doubt that they're going to make Toy Story 6. I think they're going to make a Toy Story 6. Especially after making $310 million in like 48 hours. I'm pretty sure they're going to make a Toy Story 6. Now, will this hit $1 billion? Over, under. Will Toy Story 5 hit $1 billion? I'm going to go ahead and take the over on that. I think it's a safe bet to say that Toy Story 5 will hit $1 billion. Is it going to hit $2 billion? I don't know, because we have Spider-Man coming out. We also have, what else is coming out this summer? I mean, Supergirl is coming out next week, and I think it's going to make good money. But I think more people are still going to go watch Toy Story 5 next weekend. Maybe they just had a busy weekend this weekend for Father's Day and couldn't make it out to the theaters, so they're waiting until next weekend. Kind of bad news for Supergirl, but I still think Supergirl is going to make a good ton of money. This could make $2 billion. I can 100% see Toy Story making maybe like 1.8, 1.9, but $2 billion. It's definitely feasible, especially with how the 2026 box office has been treating movies recently. So there you go, guys. Toy Story 5 just came out this weekend, and it has grossed $310 billion, not $310 billion, Jesus, $310 million at the box office, $160 million domestically. What do you guys think about that? Have you guys seen it? I personally really liked Toy Story 5, but let me know down below in the comment section what you think. Are you waiting until next weekend to see it, or are you going to go watch Supergirl instead? I do want to thank you guys for joining me and talking about movies today. If you guys enjoy videos just like this, I'm making daily videos every single day for the next year. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel, comment down below, do all that YouTube stuff for me. It really helps out the channel a lot. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.